Frank Sutton, June 2, 1923 – December 28, 1974, was an American stage, film, and television actor best known for his portrayal of the blustery but warm-hearted gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter on the long-running television sitcom Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. His career spanned post-war stage work, character roles in film, and prominent television appearances. Sutton's trademark combination of military bearing, comic timing, and underlying humanity made him one of television's recognizable character actors during the 1960s. Early life and background. Frank Sutton was born Frank Spencer Sutton in Clarksville, Tennessee, on June 2, 1923. He was the son of Jesse and Elizabeth Sutton. Raised in Tennessee, Sutton spent part of his youth in the southeastern United States. He attended and graduated from Clarksville High School. While details of his early family life are not widely documented, his formative years in Tennessee and service in the military shaped his later persona and the authenticity he brought to military roles. Military service. Sutton enlisted in the United States Army in World War II. He served with distinction and saw action in the Pacific Theater. During the conflict, he was awarded a Purple Heart after being wounded in combat. The wartime experience and familiarity with military life deeply influenced his mannerisms, understanding of military hierarchy, and the physical presence he later brought to roles such as Gunnery Sergeant Carter. Stage career and early acting. After World War II, Sutton pursued acting. He studied drama and refined his craft in regional theater and touring companies. In the late 1940s and 1950s, he began appearing in stage productions across the United States, including both classical and contemporary plays. Sutton performed with repertory companies and in stock theater, gaining experience in a wide range of roles that showcased his versatility as a character actor. He also appeared on Broadway and in off-Broadway productions, building a foundation that led to film and television opportunities. Film and television breakthrough. Sutton transitioned from stage to screen with character roles in motion pictures during the 1950s. He appeared in a number of supporting film roles, often cast as military personnel, tough guys, or authority figures because of his imposing presence and the authenticity lent by his military background. He also began accumulating television credits through guest appearances in various dramas and comedies of the era. Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. and national recognition. Frank Sutton's most famous and career-defining role came in 1964 when he was cast as Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter in Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. The series was a spin-off of The Andy Griffith Show and starred Jim Nabbers as the naive Private Gomer Pyle. As Sergeant Carter, Sutton played the hard-nosed drill instructor, whose exasperated shouting and frequent admonishments of Gomer were central to the show's humor. Beneath the fiery outbursts, Sutton's Carter was revealed to have a compassionate, paternal side, and the chemistry between Sutton and Nabbers drove much of the show's emotional resonance. Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. ran for 5 seasons from 1964 to 1969. Sutton's performance earned him wide recognition and established him as a leading television comedic actor. The role showcased his skill at balancing broad comedy with subtle emotional beats. While the show revolved around the contrast between Carter's gruffness and Gomer's innocence, Sutton brought layers to Carter that made him sympathetic rather than merely a foil. Later career. After Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. ended in 1969, Sutton continued to work in television and film. He guest starred on a number of popular series and returned periodically to stage work. As television evolved in the 1970s, Sutton remained a sought-after character actor for roles that required military bearing or an authoritative presence. He also reprised the Carter character in occasional appearances and related projects, maintaining public association with the role that had made him famous. Personal life. Frank Sutton married Gloria Sutton. The couple had 2 children, a son and a daughter. Sutton kept much of his personal life private, focusing public attention on his work. He was known among colleagues as professional, dedicated, and someone who drew on his life experience, particularly his military service, to inform his work. Death and legacy. Frank Sutton died on December 28, 1974 in Shreveport, Louisiana at the age of 51. His death was sudden and attributed to a heart attack. He left behind a body of work that continues to be appreciated, especially his iconic television role. Sutton is remembered for rendering Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter as a fully rounded character, and for elevating the archetype of the grouchy but well-intentioned military non-commissioned officer in the American comic imagination. His performance contributed notably to the success and lasting popularity of Gomer Pyle, U.S.M.C. Acting style and impact. Sutton's acting style combined a commanding physical presence with expressive facial work and precise comic timing. He could convey anger and sternness without losing the audience's sympathy. His experience on stage lent him a strong sense of rhythm and projection, while his film and television work displayed nuanced, camera-friendly subtleties. He influenced subsequent portrayals of drill instructors and similar figures in television and film by demonstrating that such characters could be both intimidating and humane. Filmography. The following is a comprehensive list of Frank Sutton's known screen appearances, including film and television roles. Where available, the project title is listed. In television series, the role of Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter is noted for Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C., and starring roles and notable appearances are indicated. Film. From Here to Eternity feature film era ancillary productions and uncredited roles in the early 1950s period projects. Note: Sutton appeared in mid-1950s and 1960s films. Specific early uncredited film listings can be limited in archival records. The Hook 1963 supporting role. King of the Roaring Twenties, the story of Arnold Rothstein 1961-era projects supporting appearances. Crisis 1950s and 1960s-era supporting roles in studio films. Up-close film and television crossover projects where he had supporting roles. Other supporting film roles through the 1950s and 1960s in studio productions. Television selected starring role and appearances. Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. 1964-1969, starring role as Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter, lead cast member, principal starring role for 5 seasons. The Andy Griffith Show, guest appearances as Sergeant Carter in episodes that led to the spin-off. The Twilight Zone, guest appearance S. Perry Mason, guest appearance. Gunsmoke, guest appearance. Have Gun Will Travel, guest appearance. Mr. Ed, guest appearance. Wagon Train, guest appearance. The Outer Limits, guest appearance S. Bonanza, guest appearance. Hawaii Five-0, guest appearance. The Doris Day Show, guest appearance. The Rockford Files, guest appearance. Other anthology and episodic television dramas and comedies of the 1950s through 1970s in guest and supporting capacities. Starring roles and notable appearances. Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. 1964-1969, starring role as Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter. The Andy Griffith Show, notable appearances as Sergeant Carter, which established the character and led to him headlining the spin-off. Various guest star episodes on popular series of the era including Perry Mason, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Twilight Zone, Wagon Train, and others where Sutton played prominent guest roles. Note on filmography completeness. Contemporary databases and archival materials list numerous guest appearances and supporting film credits for Frank Sutton, but some early uncredited film roles and regional television appearances are incompletely documented in public sources. The most definitive and well-known entries in his screenography remain his starring role on Gomer Pyle U.S.M.C. and his recurrent appearance as Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter, originating on The Andy Griffith Show, along with numerous guest appearances across major television series of the 1950s and 1960s. Conclusion. Frank Sutton remains best remembered for his spirited and humane portrayal of Gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter, a role that captured a broad television audience and showcased his skill at blending authority, comic fire, and genuine warmth. His career reflected the trajectory of a dedicated character actor whose life experiences, including military service and stage training, informed memorable performances on television and in film.